enthusiasts, how you doing? So back once again, it's part 22 of the Classic Mini workshop. So I hope you've had a great week. This week it's all about Vini in the update, so I'm just going to tidy up a couple of little bits on the roof, get that finished off, the carbon fibre roof, and I replaced the fuel injection pump on Vini. Also this week I've had the joy of re-insuring Vini. I say joy, I hate it. It comes around every year. It's one of the things that I really hate about having a modified car. It's redoing the insurance every year. So I tend to try and stay with the same insurance company to try and make it less painful. My insurance company, or my insurance renewal, come through this week. And surprisingly it was cheaper than last year, but only by a few quid, but it usually goes up and up and up every year. What the frustrating part is every year something changes slightly, something gets left off, some of the modifications get left off, so I have to go all through the motions again, getting that right, and the agreed valuation as well. So every year I get agreed valuation on the car, but every year you have to make a new declaration, get new photos, send the photos in, get it all agreed, and it's just a pain. Although it's not as bad as when I first got the car, declaring all the modifications on it. That was a real pain, getting the initial insurance policy sent up. And also what's frustrating is the road tax. I taxed Vini at the beginning of the month because I'm a good citizen. After I'd done the engine conversion, I notified the DVLA, I got the registration documents updated for the car. That was a pain to do. That's never easy. They make it really, really difficult now. I can understand it if you're going down a tax class. So if you're taking it from maybe a 1.6 litre to a 1 litre, you'll be paying less tax. So I would expect them to ask lots of questions. Vini was in reverse though, so I was taking it from 1275cc up to 1598cc, and that changed the taxation bracket. So the tax on Vini, the annual tax, is at £255, which is I think a normal Mini is 155 for a year, so it's 100 quid more than a normal Mini, which is annoying because the engine originally in Vini was a 1275cc. It was still running an SU carburettor, so it wasn't very green, would have had a high CO rating, whereas the engine that's in it now is a 1598cc, but it's multi-point injection, it runs a catalytic converter, and it'll be far better on CO than the old A series was, but hey ho, that's tax for you. So I hope you enjoy this week's update. I'll post this video on Friday 6 o'clock. I've tried to get into a routine of that now, so Friday 6 o'clock, Saturday 6 o'clock, I'll do one video update of my Minis, and then I'll do a video update of Project Bolt as well. So I changed the days round here and there, so one day it'll be Bolt, or 1 week it'll be Bolt and my Minis, and vice versa the other week. So I'm just about to go off and start editing the Project Bolt update video for this week. So if you're watching this now and it's Friday evening, tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock I will post up the update for Project Bolt. So thanks guys, thanks for watching, I hope you have a great week, and I'll catch up with you next week. So all we're doing here is between the carbon roof skin and the guttering, it's still white in between, so it just looks a bit unsightly when you see the gap between the black plastic trim and the carbon roof. So I'm just masking this up along there, and I'm just going to paint the gap with some hammerite. Should do the job.
See where it goes.
Well guys, that's that little job done. It looks much better now, so it's not fully dry yet. I'm just probably going to leave that a week or so before I put the roof gutter trim back on, because I'm sure the paint will remain soft for a while, but it does look much better now. Looks like the carbon roof, rather than just being put on the top, is properly a part of the roof. So yeah, quite a busy day today actually. So the toolbox got its, well, I would like to say it's annual clean, but it's probably done once every 2 or 3 years. So I just gave it a T-cut and a polish, and a cheat. I mixed a T-cut and auto glim together. So it's probably about 20 years old, that toolbox. It's done me proud. If anything, it's a little bit big for what I need now, but it gets used. The bottom drawers get used for a lot of storage. Okay, so another little job we got to do on Vini is replace the high pressure fuel injection pump. So I don't think it's not broken. It's still working at the moment, but it's really noisy. Always has been noisy from new, to be honest. I've mounted it on the rear bulkhead behind the rear seats. It's mounted on rubber cotton reels to give it some sort of vibration damping, but it has always been noisy from day one. It's a high pressure pump. If you remember old Ford Sierras, Ford XR3Is, things like that, if you're old enough, the pumps in them were always noisy, and it's a similar pump to them, so I can understand why. I've always put up with it. But last year, coming back from the track day at Goodwood, I run it low on fuel. It didn't run out of fuel. I just run it down to about 1/4 of a tank. But the pump started cavitating then because the underbonnet temperature was really hot. The fuel had got really hot. It had spent all day on the track at Goodwood, and it started cavitating on the way back. So that meant the pump was running air through it, and it got really noisy then. I run the pump dry a few times, and ever since then the pump just seems noisier than it's ever been before. So I want to replace it before it packs up. I think where it had run low and cavitated, I think it may just have damaged the pump. So they're not expensive. This is just a Bosch. It's capable of 5 bar, this pump, but it runs, I think, 200 litres an hour at 3 bar, which is more than adequate for the C16 SE engine. It's pretty generic, to be honest. I don't know what this is specifically made to fit, but it's a copy of just a Bosch 3 bar fuel pump. So 12mm inlet, I think 8mm outlet. So yeah, let's get this fitted on the car. So this is a fueling setup on Vini. So this is the Bosch high pressure pump here that runs at 3 bar. As you can see, top and bottom, it's mounted on cotton reels, rubber cotton reels, but it is still very noisy. That should give it some vibration resistance. There's a pre-filter before the pump, so this is the inlet here, outlet down there, and we also have a return to tank which I plumbed into the side of the tank as well. So that's back from the fuel injection system. So we'll swap this pump out and just see if it sounds any better. I'll just run it up quickly so you can hear it before, and we'll run it up afterwards, see if it's any different. I knew these red plastic bags would come in handy one day, so what I want to do is put this on the floor, because in the past I've spilt fuel on here and it just takes the paint off, so we don't want to do that. I'll get a couple of magnets actually, that'll stop that moving. Most important bit is we need to clamp off the outlet to the fuel tank. We will still get some fuel dripping out of here, I think, so I think what I'll do is I'll just put some mat under there. So I'm not sure, some of you might recognise this, but this is the fuel pump. The actual clamp for the fuel pump is a mini stainless steel coil clamp. I think what I might try doing actually is just wrapping some rubber or something round here inside the clamp. Maybe that will reduce noise a little bit. Unfortunately that's a bit thick, so I've just used some rubberised tape. Just checking the fuel filter there, making sure it's clear, which it is. It should be alright. It's probably only done 2,000 miles, that fuel filter, if that. So the earth for the pump just earths out through the actual body of the pump itself. Right, so ready to start now. Let's just do a quick idiot check. So everything's tightened back up, the negative's on, it's earthed out there, the positive's on, it's not fouling on anything. Just need to start it up now, make sure it doesn't leak. So you guys keep an eye on this. If it starts to leak, shout. Wow, well that's like 10 times quieter, so I'm well pleased with that. That's been noisy since day one, so I take it the pump's never been quite right from new.